Okay, we're back on with audio, and we're looking at we're going back in time now, Disk02 Part 4, and I wanted to get this video because it shows, let me pause this for a second. It shows the burner, or the Egan uncles doing what Dad thinks is, or I think he knows it, is them putting an addition on Grandma's house, and they're putting up the masonry blocks for the extension of the basement. So here we are, we're starting at 5 seconds into it, and I'm going to hit the go button now. Ready, go. So here we are, there's a couple kids.
Yeah, that's Bonnie Hennen. I don't know who the little girl might be.
But Bonnie Hennen, the baby, or
maybe a younger sister.
Here's Grandma's. Here's Grandma
Lena Egan, Grandma Egan.
Do you know whose house this is?
Lou's.
This is Lou's house
in Shakopee.
I'm going to pause it here for a second. Okay, so I paused it at 31 seconds, and we're looking at Grandma and...
That's Mildy. Or is that Lou?
I think that must be Lou. It's not, I don't think it's Mom. And a couple kids, and so it sounds like it might be the Hennen kids. And we're looking out at what looks like a fairly busy road in the background.
Yeah, that's where the old 169 ran.
So their house was right on 169?
Yeah.
Their old house? Or?
Yeah, when they lived out in the country.
Oh, so Ken
Hennen's moved to Scott Street in downtown, more or less downtown Shakopee.
So they already had a couple of kids when they lived out in the country?
Yeah. I think all their kids are out in the country.
So approximately where on 169?
Well, when you go by the Rar malting plant,
I don't know.
It was probably a half mile past that. That's almost downtown Shakopee.
So they lived east or west of Shakopee?
Would have been west.
West of Shakopee. I can't even really visualize where 169 used to go.
Yeah.
Did it used to go right through Shakopee?
Yeah.
It did, okay. And now it goes a fair amount south of downtown Shakopee,
yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So they moved it. Obviously, they moved 169 way
that
south.
Young lady there might be Mildy's sister, Pat, but she looks a little too old for Pat.
Because Pat would have been like 14 at this time.
Yeah.
So that looks to be 169 in the background at the Hennen's first house. And we're at 31 seconds, and I'm going to hit the button on 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, we're back live with the video. So I did not know that they lived.
Grandma Egan's always carrying the cake. Yeah, there's Mildy on the right, the white blouse.
Okay, yep.
That's Mildy, and that's Lou on the with the blue
dress, or well, darker than the woman.
And there's John Egan, and Ken Egan's dad.
John Egan.
There's old John Egan.
Oh, Grandpa Egan.
Yeah, Grandpa Egan.
Okay,
and this is
so they're doing this when Grandpa was still alive. Maybe that's kind of obvious, but it wasn't obvious.
No, I think that's Lou. And
okay, so now this was the basement that stuck out. Okay, yeah, I remember it was kind of a walkout, right?
Yep.
It was. Yeah.
And I think Ken Hennen is there. There's Ken Hennen. And I think right Wally, that's Wally also. There's Russ and John Egan.
Let me go back. So we're at...
there's Russ.
I'm just going to back up a little bit here because I want to get...
Okay,
I backed up to...
I'm done, Dad.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Back to 121. And so it looks to be right at 121, right in the center of the screen, it looks to be Ken Hennen.
Well, I think that's Wally. Ken Hennen is in the fatigue uniform.
Was he in the military?
No, he was, but he may have been using his old military clothes.
Well, that
Yes,
sounds kind of weird
why?
to be wearing your old fatigues.
Oh, why
You
not?
know?
Why that?
I don't know. People don't. I don't know. Okay, well, okay. So it looks like maybe it's Ken Hennen.
I'm sure that one over there is Wally.
Maybe I'll tell Greg what we're doing. So we're recording.
All videos of the
Yeah, we're
my
recording.
dad
Yeah.
childhood.
Yeah, we're recording it. So it's recording on my phone, and then I'm going to tie the audio to the movie. So that's why we're talking about what's going on here. So anyway, so the fatigue guy looks like Ken Hennen, and that looks like
Wally.
Wally Bunnel.
Wally Bunnel.
Wally Bunnel. Okay. So we're at 121, and I'm going to restart it up again. Okay, here we go. Wally.
Yeah, that's Ken Hennen.
That's Ken Hennen. Okay. And
There's Russ and Grandpa Egan.
Grandpa Egan. Okay, Russ and Grandpa Egan. There's Russ. There's Russ.
Yeah, Russ.
Russ again.
I don't
Lots
see
of
Jack.
Russ.
Oh God.
And that may be Don right there,
That I'm sure that is.
facing away from us in the
Yep,
middle of the screen
yep.
there. At that would have been about at
These are
156.
this is now at Wally's house that he built.
This
we
is the
always
one.
we call these the Jumpin' Jillies, and that was
So this is at the Bunnells.
Yeah,
where
Bell's
they
house.
where I always knew they lived, right?
yeah.
I
And
don't
then
remember the name of that
there's
road.
Julie Bunnell by my old Volkswagen.
Okay, Julie Bunnell by the old. And it's
There's Sandy and Nancy.
Nancy and Sandy.
Yeah. And is that one of well? That was one of the Bunnell kids. I think he died.
Oh, Steve.
Didn't Steve die?
Yeah.
That's Wally again.
Steve was the oldest.
He
right?
come after you with the rake. This is in back of his house.
Okay.
There's my old Volkswagen, Greg. The 57.
With the red interior.
Yeah.
That's one of the Bunnell girls.
Yeah. I think it was Nancy. Not Nancy, but Sandy.
And that might be me.
This is Julie and one of her kids. That's not Millie, I don't think. Oh,
Wait, this would have been before
yeah,
I was born, right?
yeah, that's Millie there. That's Sandy.
Looks like mine look too old for her. There's Wally. I can recognize him there.
Mm.
I didn't get a very good look at him before.
This must have been shortly after we were married. This is in Red Wing.
Oh, you know what? I thought it looked familiar.
Oh.
I when I was watching this on
There's
my
the
own.
pottery plant.
Yeah. I wonder if that's where the Pizza Hut is. Or not Pizza Hut, Godfather's Pizza is. Interesting. Okay, now this is in the air. Okay, so now we're going to Okinawa.
Yeah, that's Okinawa there. I can tell that.
So that didn't show. There was another picture, and you could see the wing, but that probably in a different video. So this is Okinawa.
Yeah, I think they're planting rice.
It almost looks like a floodplain. Well, I guess that's.
Well, they did have rice. They did, and that's the little shishi dogs
Shishi
that I left in the house down in Nebraska. Little Okinawan kids.
Yes. And give you a time check here. 5:10 right now.
The lady, I think she turns around too.
Oh,
She doesn't want her picture taken. And I should have respected it, but I didn't. Isn't that something? I'm not sure what this is. It almost looks like on the beach. Oh, this was just a party with the Okinawans, and I took a picture of it.
So these are the city dwelling
Yeah,
Okinawans,
yeah.
not the country dwelling Okinawans.
It says that.
Looking at some plants here.
Yeah. I think this is that cliff where the Okinawans all committed suicide rather than to live under the Japanese rule. That's Millie there. Yeah, this is when we went down to see that.
So when
And butterflies.
so did the Japanese take Okinawa
Yeah.
during the First World or Second World War?
Yeah, Greg, look at my little dog on Okinawa that we had.
I didn't know we had a dog.
Yeah. It look. Yeah. No, I don't know.
So is that where we lived, or
Yeah, that's our house. That's our house.
was that base
Overlooking
housing?
overlooking the East China Sea. And I forget who that kid was. Yeah, that
So,
was.
Do you know roughly where?
Oh, I know who the lady is. That was. She was a drunkard. She was drunk all the time. That was our light meter in our car.
Oh, that's the same car that was
Yeah,
in
yeah,
earlier
yeah.
at the Bunnel's house.
We shipped it to Okinawa.
Shipped a German car to Okinawa, huh?
And we shipped it home.
Shipped it to Massachusetts.
No, Oakland Army Terminal in Sacramento.
Well, but then you drove it to or to.
And then we picked it up in Sacramento and drove it to Massachusetts and sold it and bought a new one. And then we went to the Philippines and sold that in the Philippines and flew home without a car. There's Franklin Fortner. This was the East China Sea.
Who was Franklin Fortner?
They were our friends in Okinawa, and then we saw them again in Texas. That's looking east toward China.
Okay. So between Okinawa and the mainland. So is this where we lived, or was that?
We lived up where I am. We live. I took that from our house.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna back up to that.
I'm not sure what this is here.
I want to get back to that. Okay, this is where we lived.
Yeah, up behind me, behind the camera.
Right here.
Oh
No, not here.
no, I don't know what Franklin.
Okay, I'm gonna
It must
pause
have
it
been
when we get to the point.
the
Right here?
Okinawans did a lot of
Right here?
celebrations
Right here.
with the family. Greg, is the garage open for the little chicken?
Wide open.
Okay.
Yeah, wide open. Yeah, I did not fit my chuck in.
She lays an egg every day too.
Is she like a calico chicken, or
Huh?
looks like a calico? Is that calico?
Yeah, we call
Okay,
it.
So getting back to the video here, I paused it at 8 minutes and 47 seconds. And I guess I guess that's good enough. So 8:47, and now you said this is where you're
Up on the
shooting
hill,
from
but-
where we lived.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think you can find that on Google Earth? I mean, not now, but you think it's still there?
Highway 1 might still be there, and we just lived up the hill from Highway 1.
So you think Highway 1 is down this hill a little bit?
I think it might be.
Okay. And is that a pretty big neighborhood down there, or it's hard to tell what's down
I think it was called Sukeran.
there? Sukaran?
Sukeran, Sukeran, or like Sukeran.
Okay.
And Sukeran was also with the Army Depot, Sukeran Army Depot, but the city was Sukeran also.
Okay, so I think that's enough on that. That's at 8 minutes 47 seconds into this video, and I'm gonna hit go right now. Okay, so now we're back to live, and oh, there's some big buildings down there. Is that a military thing?
I don't know.
Okay.
This was all Okinawa civilian housing. Where the Okinawans lived. Those are Okinawan homes. So many would get destroyed every year with the typhoons. I don't know what that is. I just don't know.
Okay, now there's a food market.
Yeah, no, I think this is downtown Naha. I'm sure this is. See, they don't want their picture taken either.
Is that for religious reasons or
It's
or
kind
just-
of, that you're taking part of them,
okay.
their spirit.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that before about some culture. I
Yeah.
don't know if I imagine it's not just them, but there's a Corvair.
Some old American cars, huh? That was in our house, and they used to come selling flowers every day, and that was looking right at our house as we looked out toward the ocean.
So is it like a multi-unit?
No.
No, just
Oh, there's what's her name. They lived up the hill farther from us. She was from Germany. Howard. That's not true, Howard. Yeah.
so.
Poor
So was
Hilda.
that pretty nice?
Yeah, this is
Housing
one
there?
of the Fortners. Yeah, the house was nice, but it was little. That's little Danny Fortner. And here comes the guy with leading a pig. That was right outside our gate. That's why Tim had those worms when we went to home.
From touching a pig, or
I don't know. They said they get it from stepping in manure. And we lived on the street like that. That's probably right by our house. There's our house from a distance. From the folks at home, we received these letters. Oh, and Millie saved all the letters, and then she was on the floor. Where are they? Oh, on the floor, sorting through them. But it seems to me it was a better picture than that. See, there are all the letters. And she's actually looking for one. But we saved all those. This was I don't know if this was a base chapel or a Catholic mission off the base. It must have been a Catholic mission off the base. Oh, this is, and,
Oh, yeah, I
and I'm
remember what
threshing
it was.
wheat, threshing rice, and I'm. You can see me now. Yeah,
That's all rice there?
that's right. That has the hulls on it though. You got to dehull it. This is.
Did you and I see this recently? Or
I don't think so.
okay.
But they asked me to do it. I said okay.
Because I've seen this recently, and I didn't know what they were doing, and
Yeah, see, he's putting them in there, and there's a wheel that's got fingers on it, and there's me doing the rice, and he just giving it to me, and the hell, I don't get time to do nothing. Oh, it must have been a windy day.
it's windy here on the beach. Plants are blowing around. Now I've heard people say that Okinawa is beautiful. I mean, did you guys think it was when you got there?
Well, when you get out by the ocean like this, it was nice.
Okay.
That Ishikawa Beach was a military recreational facility, and we went out there several times, and it was just like, well, I know this is a father, not bishop, military ordinate, Cardinal Spellman. He was very famous at the time. That's he right there with the bald head.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if I got a real good picture or not.
So what kind of plane
Yeah,
do you think that is?
yeah, that's Cardinal Spellman. No, a big shot. Yeah. Wow. That's 60-some years ago.
He's probably no longer with us.
Oh, no, a long time. Yeah. The Amaryllis. There's Franklin Fortner and his little kid, Danny. They got divorced too when they went to Texas, home. But then after they got divorced, they still saw each other. Although they were still married. They just, I don't know. But I think he's dead now. I looked it up, and I've called down there several times, and they said they knew him, but they didn't know where he was. Or they knew a Franklin Fortner. Now, I don't know. This must be, I don't know who these are.
But this is still Okinawa.
Is it?
Well, I assume.
Pretty.
I'm just kind of asking. It must have been, right?
Yeah, I don't know what this here is. The islands, that's Millie carrying you on a rice paddy. I don't know. She'd never do that now. I suppose he's dead too, huh? Long ago. Well, they're the oldest living people in the world, I guess.
The Okinawans
Yeah.
or the Japanese or both?
No, Okinawa.
So Okinawans don't consider themselves Japanese?
Oh, yeah, they are. Sure.
But you said that they weren't happy when the Japanese took over them?
No, they weren't.
Well, I mean, when did that happen?
Second World War.
So that before Second World War, they weren't Japanese?
Well, they were, yeah, they were Japanese people, but they weren't Japanese
They
citizens.
were ethnically Japanese.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then they were ruled by the
Okay,
Japanese.
this is, where do you think that town was? Like downtown or something?
Right here?
No, just,
I don't know. We took
Okay.
with Fortners, we drove my Volkswagen up north to as far as you could go. No more road south. You had to go back the same way.
we
And
had like 6 people in a Volkswagen?
yeah, oh, no, we didn't have 6 people. We had his 2 kids and you and he and she and Millie and I. So yeah, there was 2 in the front and 4 in the back.
But 2 in the back were kids.
Yeah,
Okay.
and now I don't know what that was, a little baboon or something. This must be down at Naha. I don't know where this is.
I'll do another time check here. It's 8:42 now.
I don't know what this.
I should have said 1842. I'll tell you when 1900 comes up. 1900. Merry Christmas. So this is before I was born, and it looked like Mom was carrying me earlier, so it's like looks like it was out of order.
Must be. That says the same thing. Well, that was my lettering kit. Oh ho ho. Oh, I played Santa Claus for the neighborhood that year. I was ho 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 shit. Yeah, that's poor Melody. She wouldn't even recognize that now, or at least she couldn't talk about it.
And that's our house,
Yeah, that's the Okinawan house.
and that's not me.
And I think that's a little Danny Fortner. And that's probably Betty Fortner. Yeah, she used to always hold her arms like that. And it's the funniest thing because I'm not sure. Well, I don't know who that was. This was the girl that was loony.
Does
She's
she have
Okinawa.
a boombox?
Yeah,
Does she have a boombox?
yeah. She was Okinawan.
Transistor radio?
Yeah. Is that an Oldsmobile with the
I
wings?
don't know.
Yeah. I wish I had a picture of my 1950 Super Hawks, Hudson Super Wasp, Hudson. Now Betty Fortner made that cake. That's your cake when you were born.
Raggedy Ann and Andy.
Yeah. This was when they had a party. She was a nice lady. I forget what her name was. I think she was German too. No, there's what the hell is her name from up north? She
Up north?
from up the hill.
Oh, not
Yeah.
North Minnesota.
No, there's Betty Fortner. She was a pretty lady. Yeah.
And that's the end at 22:07. So any recap on that one? It went on to the next video.
Yeah.
I'll shut that off.
Holding screen. Those are screens the Okinawans had in their homes, and many Americans bought them too. They'd just section off of a room.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
They were always paper with wood frames. They called it rice paper. It was translucent. You always could see through it. Or not see through it, but light went through it.
Dad's talking about something from the next video. I shut it off, but we're like 8 seconds into the part 5. So yeah, that was interesting. I got good views of where we lived. When did we leave Okinawa? What month?
Must have been August.
August of 62.
In 60, yeah, August of 62 or 3. Tim was born in Massachusetts in 63. And he was born just shortly after we got there. So it must have been August, and Tim was born in October.
I should probably check too and see how much data I've used on my phone. I get 10 gigabytes, so it shouldn't be a problem. But, and then where the house was, you said the name of that little village down the hill was called?
I think it was called Sukaran.
Sukaran.
I don't remember if we had an address or not. Of course, we got all our mail at the base.
And that was military housing, but
No, it was managed by the military.
Managed by the military, but it was.
We paid Okinawa. I had to go downtown Naha to pay my rent.
So no telling whether it's still there or not even. Where we lived in the Philippines, did that get covered by a volcano?
I suppose Ventura Avenue is what it was. I forget the number.
And the town was?
The town was Angeles City.
Angeles City, and that was near Manila?
Oh no, about 50 miles from Manila.
50 miles from Manila.
North of Manila.
North of Manila, okay. Okay. Well, I'll shut this audio session down.